Now is the time to come home and do something instead of staying out there and freezing. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance.
Yes, folks, we are off to a late start. I was in a conversation with someone there, very important, so I had to take that, that call and have a conversation there. I do apologize for that, but we have to get the ball rolling. It's so important to do just that. I want to welcome you wherever you are. Maybe you're out there in the diaspora. Maybe you're here in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique, and you're locked onto the program. And, you want to have a conversation, a meaningful conversation. I want to encourage those on Facebook to please share the live. Those on YouTube, do the same thing. Sharing is caring. When you do, you give others the opportunity to be a part of the dialogue. I want to also say that Pastor Davis John will be back on next week from Monday. Dr. Linton Andrews will be back on from next week, right? So from Monday, we will be back to normal programming, where on Mondays, Wednesdays, Dr. Linton Andrews will do his bit, and Monday to Friday, Pastor Davis John will do his segment. So just giving you a little heads up, because a number of people have asked me, what's going down there, because they look forward to hearing Pastor Davis John and hearing Dr. Linton Andrews. So both of them, they will fall back in line from Monday, God's willing. I want to start off this morning by saying the NNP is intentionally trying to have you not be aware of some of the major things that the NDC administration has done in education or will be doing in education. And here how they're doing it. They continue to have their surrogates and sympathizers out there spread misinformation, spread disinformation on this whole issue of the LGBTQ. So they know that the law as it stands is the law, and it has not changed, and it will not be changed. And this government has no intention of changing that law or amending that law. So they know that the law stands and it will not change. Maybe 100 years from today, it might be different. But this administration has no intention of amending or changing the law. So the law stands. So they know that. They also know that the same curriculum that were used last year, the year before, is the same curriculum that will be used come September. The only two additions would be the technical and vocational aspect to the curriculum, meaning it will not be purely academics, biology, chemistry, physics, and that kind of stuff, but it will be electrical engineering, plumbing, technical drawing, woodwork, home economics, that kind of thing. All right, carpentry, masonry, that will be introduced. The technical stuff, music, theater, that kind of thing. So they'll be adding that So that will be taught at the primary onto secondary and tertiary level. All right. So that's the two addition. But they know that by coming out there and going on the Plead Your Cause program, on the WFM Plead Your Cause program, and spread all these lies, they know that the host is not capable of correcting them. So, for example, this morning, a caller called on that program and used words to the effect, the government planned introduction of LGBTQ teachings in schools, end of quote. Right? Words to that effect. And the moderator, the host, did not correct that caller or say to that caller, what are you talking about? Did the government put out an official statement that they will be introducing LGBTQ teachings in school? No, no. But the host allowed that person to just express. Another caller called in and say, well, they understand, well, they use words to the effect that they understand that the government intends to pass a law to introduce these things. I mean, it's amazing. But the host of that program, the Plead Your Cause program on WFM, is not even correcting them or guiding them. They use words to that effect. What you need to do is to guide them and say, the government never announced that they will be passing a law or amending any law. That's false. That's categorically false. But these lies are allowed to be perpetuated. These lies are allowed to be peddled by these people. And then you have one who speaks about it's an abomination, and in the Bible it says this here and it says that here, but that is how they do it. That is how they spread falsehoods. That's how they spread misinformation. In countries where the host of a program will be liable when it comes to disinformation and misinformation, those things don't happen. Because you need to be responsible as a host of a program and knowledgeable to say, but wait, come on. Government never put out a statement on this particular matter to say that they amending any law or they changing any law. This whole conversation came from a workshop, a workshop to raise awareness on gender issues, gender sensitivity. And as part of that workshop, the conversation about LGBTQ came up. And out of that conversation, it is very clear that there will be students in the classroom, girls who might act like boys and boys who might act like girls. Do you discriminate against them? Do you bully them? Do you harass them? What do you do? We have to understand that we cannot bully these people or harass them. No. So it exists, meaning you have to be able to identify those character traits very early and put safeguards in place so that they will not be bullied. So having a workshop and that is mentioned or sensitized or awareness is raised on the issue, and one teacher or two teachers take it out of context, run to the union, mislead the union, and then it becomes some kind of talking point. It becomes some talking point, and then they're given platforms, right? Those surrogates of the NNP, they're given platforms to just expatiate, say all kinds of false stuff, mislead the population, and they're good to go. That is what Grenada has become. And no one is held responsible. And the host believes that he's doing something good by allowing these people to vent and say what they want to say, when they want to say it, how they want to say it, and no one will correct them. No one will call in and say, but wait, I didn't know that the government passed a law or intends to pass a law or to amend any law. That is false, right? Or the government intends to change the curriculum. That's false. To incorporate that, it's totally false. But that is what you get in Grenada. And I'm the only person out here who is actually saying to you that this information is totally false. I'm the only program out here. So you have all these different programs where those callers are allowed to call in and spread all those misinformation. So you could imagine I'm the only person out here who actually fighting this fight to say, but wait, the government announced that they will introduce Grenadian history in schools. The minister came out, the PS, the ministry came out, and they announced that officially on the GIS page, on Government Information Service page. So everybody knows, right? The government announced the introduction of TVET, technical and vocational training and so on, in primary, upper primary, and secondary schools. A release was issued on GIS, the Government Information Service, the official source of government information and so on. So everybody knows, official. But where did this information come from regarding LGBTQ and curriculum, this and hearsay and them saying gossip? GBN ran a story which was intentionally misleading, in my belief. You're going to run a story and then you say you reach out to the ministry to get the information, whether it's true or false. You know, the reporter used words to that effect that they trying to reach out to the minister and what story? What? I mean, it's ridiculous to say the least. But there is no accountability. There is nothing where that is concerned to just run any story. So in other words, you run a story, and it's like what normally happens. You know, a person is arrested and charged. The newspaper will run a story stating that this person is arrested and charged, and they plaster the person's face all over that newspaper because it's about sensationalism. They want people to read the newspaper. They want people to buy it or whatever. The person goes to court because they are not guilty until found guilty. They're innocent, sorry. They're innocent until found guilty. So they go to court. They win the case. And that person now has to pay the newspaper to publish a small little area, a little story in that newspaper, a little area in the newspaper, to say that they were acquitted, that they were not guilty, and they were found not guilty in the court of law. That is what exists. So they make you guilty. They make people believe that you're guilty. And that's even before the case, even before the court matter. That is what the newspaper does. And the news, they make you guilty. And you have to now go and pay to repair your reputation. That is the situation, you know. I don't believe those surrogates of the NNPA know that. And that is exactly what they're doing. They know that what they're saying is false, but they continue to peddle it. They continue to push it because they have platforms to do so without any checks and balances, without any accountability, without any fact. Because the host will not say, but no law was passed. Government never put out any official statement, right? Not because something came in the news, it means that it's true. Do you know how many times the news, they have to retract stories, retract it to say that what they said was false. Do you know how many times that happened? So you running with this because you heard some story on GBN, right? And just think about it. Why the other church leaders in Grenada not coming out like Devon Roche did with that news item? Huh? Why? Because they have sense. They have sense to know that if the government does not put out a statement or state a position to say that the law will change or the law will be amended, then they know that this thing is false. If the government doesn't announce or put out a statement regarding curriculum change or including something in the curriculum, then they know that it's false. So they would not run like Devon Roche and blah blah them out. And we know Devon Roche came from a political background. You know, I think he ran once. I think he ran once or something like that. So he's a political guy, right? He is a political guy. Might be pastor and whatever. That's his business. Who cares? Right? I would not go to his church. Right? But I'm simply saying why the others did not come out and condemn this or condemn that, because they know it doesn't exist. Condemn what? It doesn't exist. But you see, the NNP know. They know what they're doing. Don't fool yourself. They know what they're doing. Because they know that the government gained a lot of grounds and support when they paid the dock salaries of teachers. Remember, the NNP removed money from the salaries of teachers. And here when they did it around Christmas time of 2018. They went into their salary and they took their money. And they didn't care. The NDC came into power and they gave them back their money. The NNP administration went into the salaries of teachers around Christmas time because they wanted to hurt them and took money from their salary because the teachers decided they're going out and demonstrate for their pension and gratuity based on that MOU that the union signed with the NNP just before the election of 2018. Come on. We got to be real. We have to be real. NDC paid that back. Teachers who retired and teachers who know that they will retire one day decided to protest, demonstrate for years for their pension and their gratuity. The NNP refused to give them their pension and their gratuity. It took the NDC to pay the pension in full and pay the gratuity in full and continue to pay teachers their pension. It took the NDC to do that. The NNP knows. They know. Right? The NDC only recently signed an agreement with the teachers to give them 13% increase plus fringe benefits and all the different benefits that they were fighting for years. For years. The NDC only recently introduced universal education, free education from pre-primary all the way up to TAMCC and NULO when it comes to tuition. So you no longer have to find that $810 to send that child of yours to TAMCC. And that's a lot of money. You no longer have to pay that. If you go down into the secondary school and primary school, you had to pay a $200 and something, you know, the $30 there, the $40 there, the $80, the one. You no longer have to pay that. Right? Universal access The NNP knows. That's the reason why they want their surrogates. Or that's the reason why their surrogates are outside there peddling these lies. Peddling these lies. The NDC only recently announced the reintroduction of Grenadian history in schools. The NNP did not have the foresight or the vision to do that. The NDC had the foresight, the vision, and they make it a reality. Grenadian history in our schools. And the book that they will be using was actually written by a Grenadian author. That is what is significant about all of this. The free textbook program continues. The back to school voucher program that continues. We're seeing more scholarships given out to our Grenadian young men and women. We're seeing more schools renovated, upgraded with labs and other facilities. So they know fully well why they're trying to peddle this lie about LGBTQ and they want to introduce it in schools. That's a lie. That's a big lie. But I'm the only person out here on a talk show program or a podcast actually educating you on it. Right? Because the other platforms, they're pushing the big lie. Because to them, it would give their party an unfair advantage over the government. That is what they believe. They believe by pushing these lies, the party that they are sympathetic to will get some unfair advantage. But I am simply saying, it is sad when these lies are allowed to be pushed on established platforms, right? In fact, I did not hear or read anything official from the NNP as a party regarding that. Is there surrogates who are out there peddling all these lies? And look, they know these lies are going to reach to certain people. There are some people, they believe these lies, right? They believe it. I'm telling you. And there are some people who are mendacious. They're wicked, intentionally wicked. You think this woman from Sanssouci and know better? She knows better. She knows that what she's saying is a lie, big lie. But she continues to do so without being stopped or corrected. You think this idiot from Fenton Village and know better? He knows better, but he continues to perpetuate and peddle his lies. That's how they do it. And they believe by doing that, they get in somewhere. I'm so happy I am speaking to reasonable thinking people. And I hope by me speaking to you, you can then work on those who are unsuspecting, those who are not so bright, so that they can understand. Because it's a real hard work dealing with these people. I'm telling you. And that is why most of the people who listen to the Plead Your Cause program, they're either not lettered or they just a supporter of the NNP. Most of the people who listen to that program. And they consider themselves to be poor and vulnerable and, many a times unable to read and reason and think for themselves, which is really, really sad. But that is the country that we now find ourselves in. Grenada has changed, where you are free to pick up your phone, call a program, and lie, mislead the audience, mislead the people who are listening. And then it's all cool because the host of the program not knowledgeable enough to correct the person. And that is the sad part. That's the sad part. But folks, I want to say to you that six senses, their hand, and that you, if you're interested, to at least make yourself available, because I think today, either today and tomorrow is the last. So I want you to kind of make yourself available if you're looking for a work in that particular field.
Grenadians will on Friday engage in the first of a four-day recruitment process. As a result, finalizes plans to open its doors soon. The major development and investment under the Citizenship by Investment program located at Lasajes and David is widely recognized as the industry leader in developing sustainable resorts as it strives to create the best guest experience. The resort and residences spread over 38 acres of land and will offer 56 guest rooms, 7 one-bedroom villas, and 5 two-bedroom villas. The resort's Director of Human Resources, Karen Brown, says key senior positions have already been filled by nationals and non-nationals since January of this year. The recruitment drive runs August 4th and 5th and again on August 18th and 23rd at the Current Government School in St. David from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It will include a first intake, mass orientation and training in September and another intake and training in October.
On day one, which is a Friday, we'll be looking at engineering. So all the roles in engineering, plumbers, carpenters, electricians, we'll need rooms technician. Those are the ones who go in and they are a bit more multi-skilled, so they can do a number of different things. And so on that day, and then the following day, we'll look at culinary. And we're excited about culinary. We have a great executive chef, and when you think about Eat with Six Senses, this really is going to be another opportunity for culinary professionals to learn more about, just organic cooking and just how we use all the different things that's available in Grenada to prepare exciting meals. I mean, we have so much to offer in terms of oil down that's going to be on our menu. We won't share too much. We can't share too much. But we are really very intentional, our general manager along with the rest of the team, very intentional about making sure that although Six Senses is a global brand and we maintain that global sensibility, we still want to, that's one of our values. We still want to make sure that we operate, in that environment that's very local, represents the culture of Grenada.
Emphasis will be placed on attitude as the main criteria for recruitment.
It's all about having a positive attitude, because at Six Senses, what we have to offer is not only about the guests. Six Senses is very intentional about making sure that the experience that we offer to our guests is also what our host will experience. And so we will, of course, be looking at making sure that we have persons who want to be in the hospitality industry, are excited and have, just a vibrant personality. So, of course, attitude is very important. And we hire the attitude and train the skill. That's why we are here. We are here to make sure that, as division heads, that we impart the knowledge and make sure that, those that we will, have the responsibility to coach and mentor, that we will make sure that they're prepared for the next, opportunity that may come their way. So experience is secondary to attitude. Of course, we definitely, if you're going to be an electrician, we want you to know something about electrical. But at the end of the day, even if you're in engineering, doesn't matter whether you're in your guest-facing host or you're at the heart of house, attitude is everything for us.
She outlined some of the benefits and experiences local employees will enjoy.
Development, exposure. You're going to learn, you're going to grow, you're going to be exposed to new things that, we've only maybe seen and read about. So they're definitely going to learn. But also one of the things that I would have mentioned earlier is we've spoken about wellness and sustainability. That is really the pillars on which we operate, and that goes for everyone who is a part of the team at Six Senses. So they will be able, so we're working on, when it comes to wellness, the 8 dimensions of wellness. So our hosts will have the opportunity to grow and experience different activities and initiatives that focuses on their total well-being, spiritual, physical, social, to that point. Even now we've started already, so we do a wellness walk 3 times a week, mandatory on Wednesday, because we need to be well to make sure that we operate in a very, healthy work environment, right? But outside of that, of course, A Six Senses host will have the opportunity after 1 year to stay at any Six Senses in the world, and that's so we're just sharing that little bit. But locally of life insurance, you will have all of those benefits. We'll make sure that we have from our host cafe that we serving healthy meals, and there just a number of initiatives.
Yes, so that's a very good thing. Today is the last for that. So you have today. So please try and be there. It's at the current government school. I want to encourage all those who are, interested in that particular line of work to see if you can get that interview, get that opportunity to be a part of that establishment. That's a good thing. And I want to applaud the Six Senses for that. And it speaks to continuum. The NNP administration, they were able to attract through CBI and so on this hotel. The NDC didn't come and scrap anything. They continued, and in fact, the relationship between that hotel and the current government is even better, if you ask me. So again, it's a good thing, and I want to encourage all those out there who, interested in that to please try your best at least today, because it's the last to be a part of that. The government, they signed an agreement with the police and the lower end workers in the public service. So let us at least feature that.
The government of Grenada has signed an agreement with the Royal Grenada Police Force and the Bank and General Workers Union for fringe benefits and salary increases for January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2025. Labour Commissioner Mrs. Parker Grenade Courtney ratified a collective agreement with the RGPF's negotiating team for fringe benefits in the second round of negotiation. The RGPF negotiating team is an amalgamation of associations representing police officers within the Gazetted Officers Association and the Police Welfare Association. In recent months, the teams signed an MOU for salary increases for the same period. Acting Police Commissioner Don McKenzie is pleased with the progress so far and anticipates the conclusion of negotiations for pay and grade for officers.
There is actually a third aspect that we as an organization look forward to, which is the pay and grade, and hopefully that can be concluded. We're optimistic that that can be concluded by year's end. I want to thank the negotiators from the government side, as well as those from the police. It is my understanding that it was an atmosphere that was quite cordial, in which both people approached that negotiation in an honest and open-minded way. Today, it has climaxed, the negotiation has climaxed with the signing of this agreement.
The Labour Commissioner also ratified a memorandum of understanding with the Bank and General Workers Union for an increase in salary and wages for agricultural workers within the bargaining unit at the Belong Propagating Station, supervisors at Mount Rule Estate, and for daily paid employees at Maribor Farm and those posted to Granborough Estate. Union President Joseph Mitchell said the signing is significant as it signals the beginning of improved conditions for the workers.
The salaries would mean a lot to the workers because, in particular, these workers are at the lower end of the salary scale. The impact of the COVID, the escalating prices, obviously has impacted them significantly. So we are happy that we could do this today. But what we are signing actually is a MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, to address or to trigger the payment of salary increases and retroactive pay. We are still working on the fringe benefit package. I must indeed commend the GNT team for its understanding in terms of the issues facing some of these workers.
Honorable Philip Telesford, who at the time spoke in his capacity as acting Prime Minister, outlined the government's position on maintaining cordial relations with union workers and employers.
These agreements are very important for a harmonious working relationship between employees and employers, and for our government and our nation to move forward, we must have a harmonious working relationship. We continue to implore upon all to speak, to negotiate, to have commonality of purpose, and this is how we will take the country forward.
Deputy Chair of the Government Negotiating Team, Lindona Hilaire Marshall, commended the teams on concluding a historic agreement.
We're happy because we've not been able to sign fringe benefits for a while, and we are extremely pleased with the government for agreeing with the request to consider fringe benefits after it not being on the table for quite a while. So I think this is a significant thing that it benefits all workers, and we look forward to continuing with the process. As Mr. Mitchell mentioned, we are still in negotiations with their union for their fringe benefits package. So we are committed to the process, and we certainly will continue to do all we can, because we often believe that we have the same interest. We are on the government negotiating side as well as the unions. Our interest really is the improvement of the working conditions of our workers. And we believe once our workers are comfortable and they're taken care of, they are better equipped to do more so that they can add value to contributing to the nation building.
Right, so that's a good thing because, look, the police, they have been negotiating, they have been clamoring. Well, in fact, they never reached the stage of negotiating or negotiation with the NNP administration because the NNP administration just didn't want to hear anything about fringe benefits and pay and grade system for the police. Yes, people were always out there saying, well, most of the police officers, they're NNP sympathizers and supporters. But when you look on the paper to look at some of the things that the police officers wanted, they never got it. Yes, some of those NNP police supporters or supporters of the NNP who were police officers, they were promoted, some of them were promoted, and the broader police force, they were not given any attention. Here you have this administration giving attention to the needs of the police officers. They have been asking for fringe benefits for years, many, many years, and they pay and grade. Some of the police officers, they would go to Antigua, St. Kitts, and all these different places on training. And when they hear the kind of money or salary their colleague police officer is actually receiving as a constable or a corporal or a sergeant or an inspector or an ASP or a superintendent of police or a ACP, assistant commissioner of police, deputy commissioner of police, or a commissioner, you have to wonder. But they have been stuck for years, many, 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 many years under the NNP. The NNP turn a blind eye where that is concerned. But still, you heard people saying, and even some of those police, that they support NNP. A lot of them, they support NNP. They don't even support themselves. They don't like themselves. A lot of them. Because the NDC is doing so much for you. But still, for all, you beat your chest that you're NNP. Look, something that they have been negotiating, fighting for, right? And take out negotiating. They didn't reach the stage of negotiating because NNP just didn't want to hear that they have been fighting for, clamoring for, asking for over and over and over. NDC just come into power and they gave them. They gave them. And that's the situation we face here in Grenada. The police, they're getting a lot. The nurses, getting a lot. Teachers, getting a lot. Public officers generally, getting a lot. But we are a people who are very forgetful, or some people will go to the point to say that some people in this country are really ungrateful, that you could do all of that for them, and yet for all, they will not appreciate it. Yeah? And that's just the fact. You see it happening every day. So we just hope that our Grenadian brothers and sisters can appreciate all that they're receiving and not be ungrateful at the end, because election is a good way from now. And Grenadians forget good things in particular. So when you do good things for them, because the NNP, the way the NNP used to govern, they would starve you, right? When I say starve you, I am referring to not do certain things to bring benefits and so on to the workers and the people. They're going to starve you, make things hard and tough for the first 3 years. Hard, tough. And then they will start rolling out those election niceties when you're going on to the 4th and 5th year, because that's election time. So they start fixing roads, they start fixing schools, they start fixing medical stations, they start giving out a lot of road work, they would increase the amount of money on the seed for the poor, the poor relief. They would give back to sculpture. They would intensify the amount of people who get, or they would increase the amount of people who get the housing repair assistance, the bathroom repair. Public officers will be told that they will get this, they will get that. A lot of contract, a lot of people will be brought in, Imani trainees, and that's how they do it. That's how the NNP has always functioned. But the NDC is not doing it like that. The NDC is governing throughout for the whole term. So they're doing stuff not because an election is looming. You understand the point? They're doing it because the Grenadian people are first and foremost. And that is exactly what we're seeing. So I'm happy. But we have to face the fact that it is clear the NNP style of governance is totally different from the NDC. The NDC is about people. The NDC is about improving your standard of living now and as we move along. They're not waiting for just the election time to go doing these things. And that is something that we have to tell our people, because Grenadians tend to forget things easily, quite quickly. They will just forget what you have done for them. Because in recent times, a lot have been delivered and done. Plenty things have been done for the Grenadian people. But if you go out on the streets, for example, and you ask, let's say, 40 people, 50 people, tell me 10 things that the NDC did in the last year and couple months, they may not be able to tell you plenty. Although it's established that they did a lot of stuff, plenty stuff. And I hope they are documenting it in very simple ways so that they can share that with the general public and refresh the memory of the people. Grenadians tend to forget things very quickly. It happens today. Let's say it happened a while ago. The next 3-4 days, they forget and they move to something else. So we must be proud of this young team. They're doing an exceptional job. Yes, they will come under attack. The NNP, they want to come back into power, and they will do anything to come back into power. All right? They're desperate. I told you some months ago that they're acting like political drakes. The NNP, they're acting like political drakes. The desperation is so palpable, so obvious. While I was speaking, I realized that the NNP put out a post. It's amazing. It's amazing, you know. Look. NNP, you know. NNP, Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. They put out a post. Rumors are swirling about alleged changes to our health and family life education curriculum. Where is our government voice amidst these widespread rumors and blah, 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 blah? It's amazing. Amazing, boy. That's how NNP is functioning. You know. Rumors are swelling about alleged changes to our health and family life education curriculum. Where is our government's voice amidst these whispers? The silence of the Minister of Education is both baffling and concerning. Aris, you believe a responsible party or organization gonna put out this kind of thing? Something has to be wrong. They're acting like political drakes. That's how they're acting. It's amazing. But you would find that happening as we go along. I told you, the NNP will not go to sleep and allow you to benefit and allow you and your family to prosper and allow you and your community to develop. They would not. And mind you, they're grabbing at straw. They have nothing else to grab at except to grab at this gossip, rumors, and them saying he say and she say. And they know that we go spend some time to debunk all those lies, right? Rebut all those falsehoods. And they believe by that, they win. It's amazing. But Grenada belongs to all of us. Grenada belongs to all of us. And we want to see more patriotism on display. Come on. You have Grenadians in the diaspora, for example, the NDC support group in New York and friends of Carriacou and PT Martinique. They mobilize, they organize resources for the senior citizen home in Carriacou, Top Hill, gave to the hospital there too. And they continue to do things for the people of Carriacou, PT Martinique, and Grenada by extension. So Frankie Mitchell and all the others, you know, big up all your whole self. So we have Grenadians, you know, like Natasha Bola, like Shoma Maguire out there, who, and others, a lot of people out there, Grenadians, bring container of stuff, medicals. I know of a family in La Fortune, in St. Patrick, right? Nice family. Ralda, Chrissy, right? And that family, the sisters and so on, they organize, mobilize resources for the kids every year. They train them, they have a summer class, they come back here, you know, to help them with coding and help them with a number of other things and distribute bags and notebooks and a whole pile of stuff. That's the folks in La Fortune, in St. Patrick, right? Just before you have that NDC shrine on the other side of the road and you just cross and you know, come on. I'm saying to you that there are people who are doing a lot for Grenada. A lot. There's a family in Rose Hill. They called me, say they want to distribute some. They're distributing some stuff on Thursday, and they asked me to be there. Come. I want you to be there, right? Together with the Minister Cornwall and, you know, the Honorable Dennis Cornwall and the others. I mean, they're doing stuff. We have Grenadians home and abroad who are doing things to improve the lives of our people. That is what we want to see. More patriotism and all this gossip and mogalang and misinformation and disinformation and falsehoods. Grenada deserves more and better. We can't continue along that line with all of this misinformation and lies from those obstructionists. They don't want good for Grenada. Those obstructionists. But folks, I want to thank you very much for being a part of the program. I want to wish you all the best. All those who continue to support Grenada, Carriacou, PT Martinique in many different ways, continue to do so, particularly those in the diaspora. I know you're doing a lot for Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. Big up your whole self. All right? Take good care. Bye for now. I'll be back with you tonight in the hub, starting from 8 in the p.m. Take good care. Bye for now.
The proceeding was a paid program. The views